Good afternoon, everybody. This is Kedar again, and I had to get back with you. I had a few things I had to do. My well went down. I had to get the plumber out here and everything, so all that's taken care of. And went and delivered some clothes to a transitional facility to help those that are less fortunate than I am. So today we want to talk about incarceration and freeing yourself from all that is tentatively harassing your emotions, stressing out your mind, and just playing games with your overall good health. So as we reflect back to the penitentiary, this is expressly for those wannabe gangbangers out there who think they know it all and do it all until they get locked up. Brothers and you sister wannabe gangbangers, let me tell you something. It all sounds good when you're out there following this rap music. You want to be a thug and following behind your homeboys trying to get street cred. All that's all well and good if you're willing to pay the price that comes with it. It's a very high price. If you're ready to suffer your family through all the trauma that you are going to go through. If you're willing to be without a family for years and years and years and things of this nature, then go ahead and be that thug, okay? Let me tell you something about thug life. In the 70s, I was the warlord of the Zulu Nation up in New York. We didn't play the radio, but the only difference was we protected our neighborhood. If we had beef with another set coming to our neighborhood, then we handled business. Outside of that, you could miss us with that. We didn't have time to just go in the neighborhoods and do all willy-nilly and be shooting up people and stabbing people with brass knuckles, whatever we did back in the day. However, yes, I've been to Rikers Island, dangerous place. I've been to the House of Detention. I've been to the Youth Study Center in Philly. I've been to the Roundhouse in Philly. I've been to the Pemberton Detention Center. And all this was before I was 16. I served time in Jamesburg Reformatory, called the Gladiator School. I was able to do me. However, when I got that long stretch, 25 years, my initial sentence was, I don't even want to talk about it, it's like 700 years, because I wanted to be a gangster. Even though I did go down to a certain state in Charlotte and defended my cousin's honor, I paid a steep price because when my cousin snitched on me for that, and they came back up to New York to get me, all the other charges was a domino effect. And there I went. So let me tell you about prison life. All day long, steel and concrete, you're nothing but a number. You will be treated as such by the correctional officers, by the wardens. You're not going to like it. Now, I'm going to put you through a quick test. Then you tell me if you're ready to go to prison. Go to your bathroom. Leave your phone outside because you ain't going to need it. Go to the bathroom. Cut the lights off. Have a dim light if you have one. And sit down. Except for meal times where we probably give you a sandwich or whatever you want to eat. You have no contact with anybody. Do it for 24 hours. Nobody to talk to. No phone. No cuddling. Nothing. For 20 hours. Nobody to talk to. No phone. No cuddling. Nothing. For 20. Don't go to prison. Prison will mind jack you in a minute. I come to prison, I see a lot of guys, all of a sudden they got saved. Holy Ghost rollers. Or they became Muslims. Or they became gang members. The reason being is not because they found God or found Islam or found Catholicism or whatever you want to call it. They wanted protection. So 9 times out of 10, they would join the gangs. Little did they know, the same gangs they were joining, Bloods, Crips, Savage Skulls, MS-13s, folks, whatever you want to call it, were going to use you to do their dirty work and try to get ahead of your stupidity. You know, if you do this, we'll make you a lieutenant. If you do that, we'll give you that. This is the big OG talking. So, oh, what's going on? What's going on, my brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening.
Hey, what's happening? So, anyways, it's kind of loud. Your volume is loud. Let me turn mine down. I don't know what it is. Let me see. Okay, can you? I can hear. Can you hear me? because you were killing my set. Hold, let me try to turn it back on, see what happens. It's real loud. Whatever's behind you is real. That's a little better there. So anyhow, while you sitting in the penitentiary and you rock, I can't hear you, man. It's too loud. While you sitting in the penitentiary and you trying to be this gangster and you trying to get this rep, ain't nobody paying you no mind. My first 23 years, I was TTG, trained to go. I didn't do a whole lot of barking, but when I wanted to be heard, I did what I had to do. Because again, I was not an alpha male, I was a masculine male. That stemmed from coming up in foster homes where nobody raised me. I had to raise myself. So I learned the streets of New York, Philly, and Newark, New Jersey real quick. Then I learned the penitentiary when I was 12 years old, gladiator school. That's why on my back is tattooed Beast, BEAST, all in caps, and TTG on my front chest, trained to go. I paid my dues. It was not easy. But you go in that penitentiary and you think they won't do you your own set? You think they won't set you up? I've seen in Central Prison, I spent 10 years in Central Prison, seeing people get decapitated, threw the boy's head into the supervisor's lap and told him Merry Christmas. At Pascagoula, I seen a boy get his throat sliced, not because he did anything, but because his brother, who was a gangbanger, killed one of their set, and his brother wasn't at that prison, but he was, so they killed him. You see what I'm saying? I was a GED instructor. I have everybody, all the other, for whatever reason, all the other convicts were scared to have Bloods, Crips, Savage Skulls, Nomads, MS-13 in the same classroom. I have no fear. I only fear God. I don't fear God's creation. So I'm gonna teach these boys. Got up there, they wanted to kind of rob these other, like I told them. In my class, I don't care what you do after class, but in my class, there's no gang banging, there's no throwing up signs, ain't having that. If you want to do that, go back to the cell block and run with them boys down there. And I wanted to show them everything you were doing in the street. If you were selling drugs, you were exchanging money, you were doing multiplication, division, subtraction. It's not that hard to learn that. So I took anatomy and physiology, where I was taking the UNC Chapel Hill correspondence course for anatomy and physiology. I was teaching these young boys words like sternocleidomastoidus muscle, bustinator, corrugator, occipitalis oculi, things of this nature. And I showed them, if you can accomplish these words, know the meaning, use them in a sentence that makes sense, why can't you go out there and get a meaningful job? Now, ain't nobody trying to flip no burgers for, what was it, $7.25 an hour? But I tell you what, the penitentiary top pays $1 a day. Top pays $1 a day. You got to work in the kitchen. I'm not working no kitchen. I trained all day. I lift weights all day. I shadow boxed all day. And I kept a book in my face to increase my knowledge. So after I did my bid, I didn't have to go back in those streets. And I had a couple guys wanted to throw their flags down, but they were scared of the repercussions that come with it. And like I told them, there may be repercussions, but stand on your dean. Do your thing. Stand on your dean. Throw those hands. And let them know, look, this is not the life I want to live. Now you come to the penitentiary, you're a young man, 21, 22, and here you sitting with a 40-year bid talking about you're a woman out there in the street. First, you ain't got no woman. Jody got her and gone. Second, now your family's doing the time. Your kids are doing the time. Everybody that was impacted by your foolishness is doing the time with you. And they're only going to last for so much because after the first 2 or 3 years, the little money stops trickling in. The visits stop trickling in. Your girlfriend ain't yours no more. She's pregnant having 2 or 3 other babies by 2 or 3 different baby mamas. You know? So what's up, bro? Somebody trying to say something. Anyhow, and you'll sit up there, and I tell everybody, one day I was sitting in Salisbury High Rise. It's 5 floors. I'm on the 3rd floor. I have been down, I guess, about 22 years. No, I've been down about 18 years. And my face was wet. And I'm not saved or nothing. This is when I became a Christian. Had been in, matter of fact, I was in 23 years when I became a Christian. This is when I became a Christian. I sat in Salisbury High Rise on the 3rd floor. My face was wet. And I looked up at the ceiling to see if the 4th or 5th floor was leaking. It wasn't. When I put my hands on my face, yes, I was crying. And I said, Lord, if you're real, reveal yourself to me. I don't want to die in prison, and I don't want to die alone. And if you show me a woman with integrity, should you see fit to free me, I will honor her all the days of my life. I didn't see nobody came down from heaven hollering kumbaya. I didn't see no bright light. I didn't see a whole bunch of angels flying around. But little by little, Kedar started changing. I wasn't this violent, very violent person that I had just been little by little, not overnight, because I still had to beat one dude in the name of Jesus. I'm sorry, it is what it is. So this was my mindset. All right. Little by little, I changed. I started preaching in prison. The guards stopped calling me Convict Brunson and started calling me either Mr. Kedar or Mr. Brunson. I earned their respect. Now, if I had to bang a couple guards, and they tore my butt up. They beat me within an inch of my life. They put me in a hole for 3 months. I couldn't receive mail. I couldn't receive nothing. They wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to die in that cell. Because I jumped on one of them in the goon squad, what they called them long sticks and maximum security, beat me within an inch of my life. And still, when I came out, I told them we can do it again. That's my mindset. I wasn't saved at that time. However, when I got saved and got born again, I found things were different. I got a release date. I went to prison in 1987. I was a 27-year-old man. When I got out the penitentiary, I was 53. Still built, as you can see, I was 53 years old. I had to start my own business. Detailing cars, December 23rd, a week later, I'm detailing cars because anybody gonna get this old convict no job. And I always had trust issues. I had trust issues and I wasn't playing the radio. I didn't want to bring the smoke, but I wasn't taking no shorts. You can miss me with that. So I started my own business. I enrolled in college. Paralegal tech was my major because I love law. I studied law for 17 years inside the penitentiary. I could do all the tort claims, motion appropriate relief, MAR, the whole nine. I've been blessed with the ability to just consume knowledge. Because knowledge is power, first of all, just like silence is power. Knowledge is power. Knowing what you're talking about is power. That's why I say on my chat, if you come on my chat line or whatever with the podcast with foolishness or being offensive to maybe someone else that's on here or degrading somebody else, I don't have time for that. This is all about uplifting from my experiences, letting you know that it's never too late to get on your feet. It's never
What
too
are
late to be
you talking about?
that king and that queen you're supposed to be. It's never too late. Don't you brothers know, man? They have tried no person in the history of the United States has suffered more than the African man except for the African woman and the Bosnian women. No one on the face of this earth. And we have survived all that. Our race forgives sometimes a little too easily. When we need to go ahead and do our little thing, we forgive too easily. I believe Martin Luther King was a little too lenient because sometimes you have to be aggressive to get your point across to people. And again, back to you gentlemen sitting in that penitentiary, after 5, 10, 15 years go by, you get older and you see how stupid you were when you did that little mess out in the street. Then you sound foolish. Your kid's 18, 19 years old. Last time you saw them, they were 1. You tell me the sense in being a gang member, walking with your pants hanging down your butt, which is very disrespectful. And in the joint, it's like you a homosexual looking for a daddy. Once you see the daddy, you pull him up, put a red flag in your pocket. You got a man. If that's the way you want to go. Then you go back further in history. The slaves used to have burlap sacks for pants, didn't have no belts. They had to hold it up with their one hand. Then the masters, when they broke the law, would strip them down and rape them with the women to take their dignity away from them. The sag and drag, that is so distasteful. My boy's 33 years old. He know not to come to my house with that. And he's my stepson. We don't allow that word in our family. He's my son. I don't step on him. He don't step on me. My daughters, they're not my stepdaughter. They are my daughters. They're 35 and 33. They'll tell you quick. We know our father, but Kedar is our dad. Because of the way I entreat women, because of the way I entreat my son, because of the way I treat their wife. Now, when I got out, in 2000, I worked from 2012 to 2017. I got a job with the same state that incarcerated me, North Carolina. Same state. I'm the senior heavy equipment operator at the landfill. I got the highest award. The Department of Washington flies me down every year to talk to policymakers, pay for my room and board, and pay me X amount of dollars to speak for 10 minutes, and pay for all my meals. And they said they had never been so impressed with the person to be as genuine as I was. I feel for my fellow brothers that are incarcerated. Does everybody deserve to be locked up? No. Do a lot of them do? Yeah, a pedophile does. God forgive me, I have no mercy for a pedophile. But someone that hurts a child, I have no sympathy for. I have to love them as a Christian, and I have to forgive them, but I don't have to like them, and I don't. You're going to hurt a little baby. So a murderer, should give a second chance because the average murderer is not going to murder again unless he's a psychopath, serial killer, or whatever. A rapist, I have no use for you. You're going to touch a woman. You're going to have the nerve to touch a woman. There are queens out here. Brothers, without these women, we would cease to exist. Without our sisters, we would cease to exist. We have to honor them. We have to protect them with our life if necessary. This we must do because you see, if you go now, I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you go to work all day and you got to fight with the elements out there in society, which we know there's plenty of them, then you got to come home and fight with your woman. She ain't the woman for you. I heard a preacher say it was very. I had to bring this up because this really bothered me today, and people can comment on it if they want. I had a preacher tell me today on the radio that because a woman takes his last name, she becomes his property. No, it don't work like that. Should a woman be submissive to her king? Yes, in the proper context. That doesn't mean she's a doormat. That doesn't mean he can walk all over her. She's supposed to have his back. That's his helpmate, but she is not his doormat. She is to be honored above all. She's to be honored, cherished, nurtured, directed, protected, all of these things. That's your significant other. Why would you mistreat her or put your hands on her? I've been with my wife for 11 years. She said some things I don't like. Never crossed my mind to put my hands on her. That's not my place. I'm out of order, you know. And a lot of women think, and a lot of men too, think that getting married will make them happy. Check this out. Getting married will never make you happy. Getting married under the covenant, if you don't have if you are in love. Now, if you just love them, as again I said before, that's conditional. Love is conditional. If you're in love with them, that's a covenant with God. So if you're in love with your husband and it's a covenant through God, then you will find your happiness, and both of you are pursuing God's will. And you will find your happiness in that. And going further, no one owes you happiness. You owe yourself happiness. You owe yourself happiness. And if you don't love yourself, you can't be happy. I found out the hard way. I didn't love myself for years. I was brutal. I had no fear of dying, still don't. But back then I was death struck. I didn't love me. I hated me. I was raised in foster home since I was 2 years old. I was beat. I was burnt with cigarettes. I was thrown downstairs. A lot of traumatic things happened to me that made me an overly violent and aggressive person. Did I learn from it? Yeah, after I sat in the penitentiary for 25 years. But if you look at all the other years I've done, like in Jamesburg Reformatory, in Rikers Island, in Pemberton Detention Center, Youth Study Center, and Roundhouse, I've got about 32 years of my life locked up. Locked up. Now, am I a better person today? Yes, praise God, I'm a much better person. I still don't take no shorts because God don't have no punks in his army. None of his disciples were punks. Matter of fact, God had warriors. You just got to know your position, you know. And again, I say this again, everybody. If my absence doesn't affect you, my presence in your life never meant anything. And I stand on that. If my absence doesn't affect you, will you miss me? My presence never meant nothing to you. So I'm going to see the back of your head get smaller and get away from me, because God will take people and move them out of your way. And you don't know why am I losing all these friends? God is moving them out of your way to set you up for bigger and better things. And you won't know it unless you trust them. And I tell all those people who do not believe in God, because like I said, I'm all the way to the floor. I'm an original OG. I'm an original gangster. Now I'm a gangster for Christ. I try to keep his word. I treat everybody with, I don't care what your sexual orientation is. That's between you and God. I'm not your judge. If I point one finger at you, I got three coming back at me. How the heck am I judge you because of your sexual orientation? Do I condone that lifestyle? No, but you're a human being just like me, and you deserve love just like I do. That's the best I can do. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, yeah, well, no, I don't agree with it. But that's your life. Who am I? I still shake your hand. I still hang out with you. I still let you sit at my table. Just act like your specific gender when you're in my company, and I will always show you the utmost respect because you deserve that once you earn it. I will show you cordiality, but respect is not freely given. Respect is earned. It's earned. You don't just get my respect because you say my name is who. Okay. Let me see if your actions match your words. And if your words match your actions and you 100, then I'm going to do the utmost to respect you. And you'll know I respect you. It's just another level. And that's hard. My circle of friends is very small. I can count them on one hand and still got some fingers left over. But I'm loyal to them. And they're loyal to me. That's a key word. We have lost the very fabric. We have lost the very foundation on which the black folk were known for. If you go back in time to the 50s, 60s, 70s, look at those pictures of black people. Had suits on, dresses where they were nice looking dresses, but it left something to the imagination. The men were in suits, double breasted, single breasted, wingtip shoes, flow shines, nice derbies on their head. Fast forward to 2024. It's ridiculous. You know, young ladies, I admire beauty. Trust me, I admire beauty. Me and my wife don't have issues on me looking at another woman, and I don't have no issues her looking at another man. Oh, hey, honey, that's a brutally handsome man. Yeah, baby, you know, he's a good looking dude. Okay, baby, that girl good. Yeah, baby, that's it. Because we have no trust issues. Our integrity can't be challenged. We've been together 11 years. We don't cheat. We don't run the street. And it's very seldom that we go anywhere without each other when we're not in our respective professions, which is mine is heavy equipment, and she's the manager of a medical conglomerate, and she's a sister, by the way. I have nothing against Caucasian women. I got some of my best friends back in the day, but I love my black women. Nothing replaces, in my mind, a black woman. And I see some of these brothers, while I'm at it, I'm going to jump on this and make some people upset, but not offended. Brothers that date, you can't help who you fall in love with. But when you specifically target one race and down your race, and I hear these brothers down and sisters because they say sisters that, hold up, you know for a fact that sister more than likely ain't gonna take that garbage that you're gonna pump to the other person. That sister ain't gonna let you treat her or entreat her any kind of way without you suffering some consequences and ramifications. The sister ain't about it. Give me my race any day, and I'll accept that. I've never dated outside of my race. I've never had a desire to date outside my race. I never will date outside my race. Matter of fact, I'm with my wife till death do we part, literally, because she has shown to be that woman of integrity and virtue. And what I want to impress upon you women, I mean, I love y'all. You know, it's like, and I thank y'all for listening to me. I thank all y'all that's joined my podcast. And you can agree to disagree with me. I'm not saying I have all the answers. Agree to disagree respectfully, and we can have a dialogue, you know. But downing each other and saying, oh, you said, no. If I said something that is contrary to what you believe, say, Kedar, look, you said this. I believe this. Can you explain your position? Yeah. Then I'll ask you, explain your position, and we can talk about it. We can talk about and build a bridge where we know there's two people. See, the hardest thing is for two people who have different agendas or different views to come together and still show a united front. Why is that so hard? I don't know. I used to walk the yard with Muslims, gang members, Wiccans, and we would discuss and we would talk with each other, not at each other. And we got the utmost respect for each other. Our views are just different. We still bleed the same color. We still put our pants on the same way. You know, and you women, stop showing out behind some man that done cheated on you. Stop. If he cheated on you, what'd that tell you? It doesn't tell you that you weren't good enough. Let me put you on point on this. Let me put you up on game. If a man cheated on you, it does not show that you weren't good enough. It showed that he lacked the maturity to be a real masculine male. Because a masculine male knows his place. And if he's in a relationship, the last thing he want to do is hurt his significant other by cheating when he know that affects your whole aura. And karma is real, by the way. Let me get a sip of this coffee, y'all. Please excuse me, I love my coffee. You know, we have to embrace life to the fullest. Nobody knows when your number's up. Nobody knows. I could be sitting and talking to you now and God calls me home. But we have to enjoy life to the fullest. But I'm going to tell you the best way to enjoy life is let God direct your path. I came out of prison with nothing. 6 months later, I bought my first Lincoln Navigator. Since then, I've been to a Cadillac Escalade, Z71 Suburban. I got a drop top and another Navigator in my yard on 5.3 acres of land in an 18 square foot home I had built in one state and brought to another state. God provided everything I lost. Even my sanity. I was a fool. I tried to commit suicide back in 1978. I was in the military at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Wasn't nothing wrong with me. Don't get it twisted. Nothing was wrong. I just didn't want to live. So was my mind so screwed up by what had been done to me as a child, what I went through in basic training, that I was like, you know something? Let me just check out. Thank God my roommate found me at Fort Sill, took me to Reynolds Army Hospital. They stuck a catheter up my penis and a tube down my throat, pumped my stomach, and gave me charcoal-activated milk of magnesia to clean me out. They said enough pills in me to kill 2 pack horses. But I was blessed. God had something for me to do, and I still didn't learn. Only when I laid down for all them years, I'm like, this isn't it. My life can't end in a 9x11 concrete and steel. My life can't end without the true feeling of knowing what it's like to be genuinely loved. It's just, okay. Thank you, everybody. I sure appreciate what I'm reading in my text. I mean, y'all are really blessing me. But I'm trying to have real talk, everybody. It is my quest that if I can build a base here where my finances are flowing like I wanted to be, as I do now, I feed the homeless through my African fashion shows. I give lectures. I talk to people. I want a lender, not a borrower. I want to be able to help people. That is my mission. Not to down you, not to look down on you unless I'm looking down to help you up. It's just one of those things where you have to really look deep inside yourself. You got to go deep. You got to find all the ugly in you and get rid of it. We'll never be perfect, but we can always be able to show love. It's hard. The way I was treated, I shouldn't be loving anybody. I shouldn't be loving anybody. It's hard. But the thing is, it's doable. It takes prayer, practice, and I'll tell you this here, and I'm not going to hold you up too much longer. It's like this. If you ask God for patience, He's going to allow things to come your way to where you're going to have to acquire patience. If you ask God to control your temper, which was one of my biggest problems, He's going to allow things to happen to where you're going to have to control your temper. If you ask God for wisdom, He will give it to you liberally as long as He sees you're going to do it the right way. See, God will give you all the desires of your heart if it's according to His will. Is it according to God's will for you to be happy? Yes. Is it according to God's will for you not to walk in fear? Yes, because walking in fear is a sin. Is it in God's will for you not to worry? Yes, worry is a sin. Is it in God's will for you to prosper and enjoy the fullest of life? Yes, by all means necessary. You declare and decree that thing and write that vision down on paper. Write your thoughts and watch. Let me challenge y'all. Whoever is here in the sound of my voice, let me challenge y'all. Write your vision, make it plain on paper, and God already knows. He knows all. Write it down on paper and pray and talk to God. Then check off the list as things start happening for you. Believing and here's my biggest thing. In spite of any circumstances, I thought God was going to do that. In spite of any circumstances, thank Him. Trust me. I'm telling you, I've been through this. Let God's word be a liar or let God's word be true. And God has never been a liar. Furthermore, if you look, God says, where two or more join together with me, there I am also. Seek and you'll find. Make all your petitions known to Christ. Go through Jesus Christ. Write that vision down. And as time goes on, you might say, Brother Kedar, man, I already know. I already know what God will do. And I was an atheist. I was a Muslim. I was a 3%er, 5%er, 99.25%er. I was all that. Nothing beat the true living God. Do I still have flaws? Yeah, I smoke. Do I still have flaws? Sometimes my temper gets the best of me and I have to check somebody. Not with the hands because that'll lead me back to the penitentiary. And if any of you ex-offenders in the sound of my voice, I am about to challenge the gun laws in my state. Now, I don't know what's going on in your state, but here's one thing for you to go on. The United States Constitution, the Second Amendment, says every person shall have the right to bear. That being said, if every person has the right to bear arms, and that is in the United States Constitution, in the mandatory language, how can you then take the governing statute in your state, in your respective states, and say if you're a felon or ex-felon, you cannot have a firearm? Now, you can't take a governing statute and usurp the Constitution. It's illegal. It's due process, equal protection. It's cruel and unusual punishment. And you can run that under the 4th, the 6th, and the 14th Amendment and tie it all into due process and tie it all into cruel and unusual punishment and tie it all into usurping the mandatory language. Any words will, must, and shall, and they is mandatory language under the law. And I'm about to start. I want to do a class action. But the only way I'm going to do that in a class action with brothers that I made or sisters too, you have to be clean for at least 7 or 8 years. No more crimes, no more nothing. Because when I petition this, of course they're going to shoot it down. I go to the next level. It's going to have to go to the Supreme Court. Then I would like to, I don't need no lawyer. The words are right. I'm standing on the Second Amendment. Now, unless you're a Trumpster and going to try to change the Constitution, it's got to stand. There's been articles about it, and professors are saying that it's illegal, but they're doing it anyway. Well, I'm a fighter, y'all. I'm a fighter. I'm just waiting on the right time, which is now. I've been out 11 years. I might have been out 11 years. I don't know. 11 years coming this December 23rd. I think it'll be 11 years I've been out. And it's time for me to stand. I'm already doing things that people want me to run for the politics in this town. I'm not running for politics because that's not my forte. Because when you run for politics, you got to be politically correct. I'm going to say what I got to say with respect, but how I want to say it to make my point known. That's just my way. That's just my nature. And that's God has given me the strength to know I don't have to fear anything in spite of the circumstances. And one other thing, y'all, when y'all pray, because I know some of y'all are going to pray and try it. When you pray, I found this out too. When you pray and ask God for something, it's believing in your heart of hearts that you received it. Why are you going to go around the next night and pray for the same thing again? It doesn't make sense. If you believe you received it when you prayed for it, why do you have to pray for it again? So from that moment on, you keep thanking God and praising God again in spite of any circumstances, and watch how God moves in your life. And I want to hear about it. Well, that one, I just got my little podcast system. I've been looking real good. I let y'all get a little glance at it. I'm trying to, get it where I can sit here when I retire. Hopefully I'm going to retire this year. I'm waiting on my military to kick in. I'm retired. I'm thinking about raising German Rottweilers or European Dobermans. My wife said no to the Connie Corsos. She said no to them too, but I can persuade her with that. That's retirement present. But I want y'all to be blessed. Think of what I'm saying. God got your back. When them days you struggling and you think you can't make it and you've prayed to God, hold on. Please hold on. Because that's what God does. He will allow you to go through something to test your faith. But that's the key word. Key two words: go through, not stuck in. Okay? God will allow you to have trials and tribulations to test your patience, to test your faith, to test your love for Him. And when none of us, it's hard for anybody to acquire what they call agape love because it's too pure. But try to live like Jesus. Because put it this way: if you say Christianity was fake, all right, let's say Christianity was fake, but you lived a good life thinking it was Christian. You lived a good life. You helped people. You did all these things for people, and you died. And Christianity was fake. What have you lost? You led a good life. Your legacy is good. People know you, your memory, whatever. Now let's flip the script. Suppose Christianity was, as it is, real, and you didn't live as a Christian. You partied every night and sleeping with all whatever you want to sleep with, and then you died, and you found out the Bible was real. You can finish that for yourself. I'm not trying to scare. I'm just trying to look. I know from experience. I know from the school of hard knocks. I know for being on my deathbed on a couple occasions. We have to turn this thing around. I want you to turn yourself around. I want you to be that king, that queen. When I say king or queen, I mean all my brothers, because God says we are all one blood. So that means we are all one race. Matter of fact, not once in the Bible will you hear anybody say anything about race. You will hear Ethiopian, Philistine, this, that, but you never hear the word race. We invented that. And a child doesn't know racism. It's taught. It's not DNA. It's not genetic. So we have to turn this around, y'all. Follow the times of the signs. Follow the signs of the times. Can't tell spring from summer, summer from fall. Look what's going on around you. Keep an eye on China. Keep an eye on Russia. God says, except for He come down, man would destroy himself and the earth. And read up on Russia, Korea, and China. And we've never had saber rattling on this level before since World War II. Never. Not even with the Cuban Missile Crisis when Kennedy was here. We've never had this type of saber rattling. Now, you got a nut over there in North Korea. You got a nut over there in Russia. And China straddles the fence to get whatever it can. So keep an eye on that. Keep me in your prayers for those who believe in prayer. And I will definitely keep all of y'all in mind. And once again, y'all, thanks for listening to me. I'm going to cut out. I have to run to the store and get some saltwater treatment stuff and get some flowers for my wife so she can come home and have a nice time. And men, treat your women like queens they are. And women, when your man come home, just give him a hug and a kiss and just say, Kedar said do this and make your day. Watch what he does. He'll melt. He'll melt. See, we men, I like to cuddle. I didn't used to. My wife made me a little teddy bear. I'm serious. When I see her upset, I feel bad. That's a Brahmin bag. If she's too upset, it's a Louis Vuitton. Okay, because that's my baby. That's what she likes. But on the other side, I can go to my wife and say, baby, I need $5,000 or $10,000. I guarantee you within 2 hours, I got it. See, it ain't that I do for her and she won't do for me. We do for each other. And for any woman that is foolish enough to think that a man is supposed to 100 take care of you and give you everything you want, and if he can't, you're going to move on, but you say you love that man, that's that conditional love I was talking about. Conditional love means it's a contract, and that contract can be broken. But if you're in love with that man, that's a covenant of God. It can never be broken except for abuse, and no woman has the right to be abused. But that's a covenant. Me and my wife have a covenant. We don't have a conditional love. We know God brought us together, and we work through our problems, and we have some. And sometimes we get on each other's nerves. We got a big old house. Every room got TVs. Every room got a nice bed. We know how to do it. But not a day goes by, and not a night that don't go by, where we don't tell each other, even if we're mad, that we love each other. That's a powerful word. There's power in the tongue. That word love, don't use it all willy-nilly. It'll come back and bite you in your butt. Yeah, I thought you loved, but I wasn't in love with you. That means I can go at any time. After 11 years, my wife is 10 years younger than me, and I'm 64. After 10 years, almost 11, I'm still very much in love with this woman because I think about what she means to me. She's my world. Only thing I love more than her is God. Yes, I love God more than her. I have to. I love God much more than her. I have to. But she number two, God number one. She number two, then my daughters and kids and my grandbabies. I am blessed beyond measure. I'm not a rich man, but I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not a rich man, but I'm definitely okay. And I want you to be okay. But again, I'm about to close. Write that vision down. Say, Lord, I want this in order. And just trust him. You got to trust him. If you don't trust him, don't waste your time. If you don't have faith that he can do it, don't waste your time. But if you got the faith of a mustard seed, God says you can say, I removed this mountain. So if you have a little bit of faith, well, God, I want to be happy. God, send a person with integrity my way. God, I want to get out of this debt I'm in. God, I need you to show me favor amongst men. God, 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 God. And then when you start checking them off, when you get about the third or fourth one, you be like, Kedar might be on to something. I know I'm on to something. I'm on eternal life. Like I said, I'm not scared to die. I'm scared to go to hell. Death is nothing but a part of living. As soon as you're born, you start the process of dying. So why fear something that's inevitable? I just don't want to go to hell. That's when I worry about these gangbangers. You going to kill me and send me to heaven? I'm going to get, Lord, forgive me my sins, and I'm going. Where you going? Where's your life leading? These are things we need to think about, y'all. So I'm going to get off here. Again, I thank everybody for listening to me. And you can hit would you please like and share for me? And we can have more discussions like this. And I'm hoping for those who want to, I'm going to start a Bible study. And it's going to be, I want it to be where we can go back and forth. I want my Bible study to be where everybody can ask questions and we can research it together. We can share our differences of opinion in love and get some knowledge and help each other. I need y'all to help me. I still got issues. Somebody might come on and say, Kedar, you ever think about this? Oop, damn, there go the light. See, I don't have all the answers. I know what I know, but I don't have all the answers. And I'm reaching out to my fellow TikTokers that, let's talk. Let's have a dialogue. Let's talk with each other, never at each other. Let's agree to disagree in love and in harmony, in patience. You women talk to me. My wife don't have no jealous actions. You brothers talk to me. We're men. Maybe I can show you how to be a masculine male because the alpha male is nonsense. But a masculine male is a man in every sense of the word, 24/7, including leap year. This is what us masculine men do. We take care of home. We take care of our business. We look out for our sisters. We look out for the kids. We look out for the world in general. We stay on point. That's what a masculine man does. All an alpha male does is responsible for his pact. My pact is society. My pact is you, women, brothers. That's my agenda. All right. So y'all take care, and I'm going to get out of here because if I don't, it's going to be something else. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all again tomorrow. Peace.